Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Phil Wheely. I'm the director here of the IVCC Wind Ensemble. Thank you for coming out on a wonderful Thursday evening, our first, I think, unofficial day of fall, since our weather is going to be changing to more fall-like than summer. This is our fall concert, our mid-semester concert, and we're so excited to get to play for you all. Thank you for coming. We've got an interesting, kind of a different kind of, well, it's a good program, kind of some music that is very familiar to the members of the ensemble, probably many familiar to you. Some music by composers that are familiar, but maybe the pieces aren't quite as familiar as much. And then a couple new ones that probably haven't been heard very often, including our first march, the All-State Triumphal March, you probably read in your program, written by Austyn Edwards, who was a local composer here in the Illinois Valley for 33 years. And I know there's a number of band awards around here that are named for him, both at JFK, but also at my school, Peru Parkside. It's our Austyn Edwards Band Award. But the Wind Ensemble hasn't done an Austyn Edwards piece in quite many years, and this one has actually a special place because it has some connection to members of our ensemble, which you can read in the program. It was performed in 1964. It was written for the Ottawa High School Band to perform at All-State, and one of our trombonists, Ray Makeever, can you stand, Ray? I'm sorry, Ray, I called him his father's name, Ron Makeever. So he was a member in that ensemble, and this piece was donated by the band director at JFK at the time, back at the time, David Peterson. He's back there. He was our cymbal player. Go ahead and wave for them, David. So he wrote so many great marches, and we hope to be able to feature some of them in future concerts. Our next piece is basically, it's a concert opener. We would almost put it as a concert opener, but we wanted to start with the Austyn Edwards to get our feet wet a little bit, because it's our fun piece. This is Festive Overture by Dmitri Shostakovich, a piece that many of these members have played many times before. It is a wonderful work with lots of energy. It's also a tad challenging as well, which you'll hear, but it's such a great work that Shostakovich wrote, and it's pretty amazing that he almost wrote it completely overnight. And it just shows his genius as a composer. So we hope you enjoy Dmitri Shostakovich's Festive Overture. transition to something completely different, Spanish Bolero. We have a couple pieces from Spain, actually, this one and the one at the end of the program. This is a piece by Glenn Osser, who is really important in the genre of light band music, or light music in general. Music that would be played in concerts, community band concerts and others. It's sort of giving a not the heavier stuff, but sort of a light part of this. We haven't played Bolero in band in quite some time. His Begin for band is very popular and very common. We decided to pull this one up. We also have a new pair of castanets that we also wanted to be able to showcase in this concert. So you'll hear Dave Peterson on that one. So here is Bolero for band. Our next piece is quite a powerful piece. As you read in the program, written in a time period right after John F. Kennedy's assassination in 1963. And this piece, we mentioned it in the program about what the country was feeling like. And the piece was trying to Lo Presti didn't really write it to make it seem like this, but later on, as the piece started getting some traction and it was being performed, many of them said it really felt like what the country was going through, from all the stages of grief, from the shock of it all, to the depression, to the anger, the denial, all the way to the acceptance. And some of those weren't always, we all have had stages of grief. We all know they don't happen in the same order. Sometimes it happens in one moment and then you're angry and then you're depressed the next day and you're back to angry, and it's never anything that's clean in that way. And this piece kind of represents that. Moments where you're feeling like you can just tell the tension, all of a sudden you think, okay, it's going to get resolved, and then there's more pain in it. Lots of dissonances that you'll pick up on. So we hope you enjoy this Elegy for a Young American by Ronald Lo Presti. back to the second half. That piece, as you could tell, Vincent Persichetti is a composer that we haven't done in several years. He's got many other wonderful pieces that I remember playing in high school to Brindamendo. Obviously, he writes with a little bit of a different style. You can hear the many different tonal centers, the dissonances, and really what that was is you're just listening to everybody kind of in a different key. One section in one key while the woodwinds are off playing in another key. That's what you hear throughout that. And of course, you think it's going to all resolve at the end, and then he hits that last chord on you, and it's like, okay, well, we still didn't resolve the polytonality. But that's how Vincent Persichetti was with his composition style. Our next piece, we haven't done a Broadway medley in a while, and there's lots of them out there. We'll probably pull out other ones, but this is, I don't want to say an oldie but goldie, but definitely one that was very popular in its time. Highlights from Gypsy. Jule Styne, you read there. That was the one musical that he collaborated with Stephen Sondheim, who is obviously very well known as a lyricist, also songwriter, many other musicals, and Stephen Sondheim passed away not that too long ago. But Jule Styne actually was really revered back in the 50s and 60s and 70s on Broadway. With a lot of them. You can see some of the ones he's written. It's a fun little piece we think you're going to enjoy. You'll see the tunes there, so we hope you enjoy Highlights from Gypsy. since we played a theater song, this concert's kind of like most theater productions. Longer first half, shorter second half. So just kind of worked out that way. I want to do a couple things before we finish our concert for tonight. Obviously, thank you to all the IVCC staff. Our head of the music department, Michael Pacherik, is here tonight. Also, our head of percussion, Larry Alt, who's also here tonight. He was the one that helped spearhead not only the castanets, but they also helped with moving equipment and everything else. Special thank you to Chad Brokaw, who's running the sound and the lights. He's really doing a great job of trying to get everything that happens in this center. He's been very busy the last couple of weeks. We had the jazz concert on Tuesday. 2 weeks ago, he was just having a president get indigestion. I knew I shouldn't try to say it. But we had a ceremony for him, and he's been very busy. So thank you, Chad, for everything that you're doing. And obviously, thank you to the ensemble and all of you for letting them, your parents and families, or let them come here on Thursday nights to get away from the house a little bit to play. I know they enjoy it, and thank you for the time that you allow them to do that for. Our final song, I mentioned we had a couple Spanish pieces. I also mentioned we have some things that are quite familiar. We have some that were ones we haven't pulled in a while, and then this one is probably played by most everybody in a band at some point. Definitely a favorite, and it will continue to live on, I know, for 50, 100, 150 years from now. A Spanish pasodoble, Amparito Roca. So please, hope you enjoy, and thank you for coming tonight, and I hope you enjoy.